So, everybody, welcome to this amazing course on transactional analysis. Transactional analysis is very dear to me because it's a modality that I use along with past life regression therapy, especially when there are people who have a lot of problems in their life, like they have problems with relationships, they have problems with health, they have problems with just being lost. There are many people I meet, and I'm sure all of you must be meeting also, who are just lost to the world, because they don't feel appreciated, attended to, they don't feel worthy and of value. And these are the people for whom transactional analysis can be an excellent way of dealing with their mind and of dealing with their life. And that's why I thought that a wonderful group of people, maybe work life balance is something that we really need to work with. And all of us need to work with this together. So I'm thinking of having the first Thursday of every month, where I'll introduce transactional analysis and the various aspects of TA in a very practical way. I'll be giving you some homework, which you all will have to do. And that will really benefit you because then you'll have a diary in which you'll be writing. It's not like journaling, where you journal your day's events or you journal your emotions or something. Here we'll be journaling the PAC, which is actually the model of TA, right? The parent, adult, child, ego state model. Today is the first session, and I wanted to just begin with you understanding what is TA and how we can maintain a work life balance in our lives. Now, TA cannot be complete if you don't talk of Eric Berne, um, because TA is actually a theory of modern psychology. It was founded by Eric Berne, who was a student of Sigmund Freud. He was not admitted in the Psychoanalytic Council, and this kind of got him a little upset. And then he decided, okay, if you're not going to admit me in the Psychoanalytic Council, but I've learned so much. So let me add what I have understood from psychoanalysis and what Freud taught him. And then that's when he came up with the theory of transactional analysis. And TA is such a fantastic theory because anybody can use it. You can be a businessman, social worker, psychologist, a housewife, an engineer, a teacher. Anyone can use TA. And the best thing is that TA can be used by adults, by teenagers, and even by children who are as young as 12 years old. So if you understand this whole theory, you will be able to help, especially couples, who come to you, all the psychologists here and healers here. You can help couples who come to you, especially on pre-marital counseling or even, let's say, marital counseling. They're not getting along. And TA can be a fantastic modality to be used here. As you will understand, as we proceed, you will understand that TA is a very cognitively based therapy. It's got nothing to do with soul and spirit and past lives and all that. Okay, tea is a very cognitive kind of therapy, very thinking oriented kind of therapy. So what happens is, if you're a Reiki practitioner or a pranic healer or somebody using past life regression therapy, you can integrate this cognitive and spiritual thing together, and you will feel more equipped when you speak to clients. Okay, so that's why I thought TA is an excellent modality. And another very interesting thing about TA is it has a wide application. You can use it in clinical settings, you can use it therapeutically, like one on one. You can use it in organizational TA, we have also, which is used in various corporate houses. Personal development is something that TA works with, even with relationships, behavior. So there are so many areas in which TA works. Let's look at the areas of TA. So TA is also a theory of personality. It's a theory of communication. You know what is a transaction? A transaction is there's a stimulus and there is a response, right? There's a stimulus to which I respond. So this kind of transaction is how we live our world. Our world is basically transactional in nature. You know, we say what you give, you get. So if I want something and I'm not getting it, we will say maybe you're not communicating correctly, right? In TA, we'd say maybe you're not transacting correctly, either with a person or with a situation. So it's really a theory of communication also. TA is also a theory of child development because you will learn as we go ahead how you will get to know your injunctions. You know what is an injunction? It's like a stopper. Like if you've been a young child, like we all have, and then our parents tend to tell us, you know, that you don't think, I will think for you. If there's a Diwali party or something, and parents take, no, like I remember when I was young, like my mom used to say, wear this for the Diwali when we're going to people's homes. And maybe I didn't like to wear it, but I would still do it, right? And so I became a very obedient kind of person, right? But my sister was a rebel, you know, she would say, I'm not going to wear this, I'm going to wear something else. So when you understand TA, when you will understand the theory of TA, you will understand how we have been conditioned, you know, over our childhood. And whatever personality we have today is because of the conditioning that we have had. So TA will also give us some insight into the way our child in us has actually been developed. A lot of people do what we call inner child work, right? Inner child work and TA are like this. They're like glue. If you do inner child work and you don't know TA, you can't be doing inner child work. That's how TA is so glued in to anything to do with inner child work. So that's another area that we can work with TA. Theory of psychotherapy. Tea is also theory of psychotherapy because we are using it in conditions like anxiety, like let's say kind of depression, like people who are having suicidal ideation. We can use TA, so it's like a therapeutic uh, way of working with the mind. Also, it's also a study of personal growth. As we continue our study of TA, you will realize how personally you are able to map the way you have grown up. Are you functioning from a very parent state? Parent state, I don't mean you becoming a parent, okay? Parent means as we have grown up and conditioned, we've been conditioned how parents think. Mummy thought in a certain way, and somehow I catch myself thinking like my mummy, okay? Or like my granny. Now, mummy and granny may not be there physically with me, but they are in my head. They are forming or they are occupying a part of my mind space. So that's what we call how parents condition us. And that parent self in me will be called the parent ego state. So when I understand the way my personality has manifested my personal growth, I will be able to study myself better. And TA is all about self study, how you study yourself. It's really beautiful. And then it's also a theory of social behavior, because obviously we are transacting, right, with people around us. So it will also give you insight as to socially, some people are gregarious, they love people, and people love them. And there are some people who just can't make friends. There are some people who continuously get betrayed. Maybe it's because of the kind of injunction you have, don't be close. You know, when you're some people who are very young, they will come and tell me that, you know, like my dad used to tell me that don't get too close to friends, you know, they will only kind of tomorrow kind of betray you or say rude things to you, and then you'll get hurt. So don't be close to them. This becomes an injunction, a stopper for your own personal growth, and also a spanner in your social behavior. So that's how, when you learn TA and you learn the injunctions, you will understand how they have impacted your life also. And that leads us to a theory of human behavior. How do people behave with each other? So, as you understand yourself, you understand social behavior, you understand your development, you will also understand how your behavior has impacted others and how others' behavior has impacted you. And also, in general, why people transact the way they do. What are their drivers? Drivers is another very interesting word in TA. Now, once you understand all this, you will be able to look at TA as a method to enhance organizational effectiveness, because it is in a factory, in a corporate, in an organization where a lot of people work together. And if you understand TA, because a lot of TA people work actually in corporate houses as, let's say, coaches, and what they're using is actually TA. Okay. And then it's a tool to develop clear thinking. Okay. So let's today understand how are we going to develop some amount of clear thinking through TA, through some of the exercises that we are going to do. So a little bit on the early roots of TA. Sigmund Freud spoke about the human psyche being multifaceted, and each one of us having warring factors in our subconscious, warring factors, conflicting factors. We all want to lead peaceful lives, but we are unable to lead peaceful lives. Why? Because there's conflict in our mind. Our mind is constantly being pulled from left to right and right to left. And sometimes we even lose track of what is right. And we keep, doing things which are not appropriate, not helpful. And then we get caught um, in the mess of our own making. So our subconscious is really warring. It's fighting all the time. One of the very interesting studies was by Dr. Wilder Penfield. You can read about the Penfield studies. Began a series of experiments on human subjects. Very interesting now, okay, where he proved that touching a part of the temporal lobe with a weak electric probe, the brain could play back certain forgotten past experiences and feelings associated with them. Can you see the ramifications of something like this? The temporal lobe is obviously the auditory lobe. Okay. Now, what the study did was Penfield, he did a series of these experiments where he touched a part of the temporal lobe, which he must have obviously done a lot of experiments on. And he found that even a very weak electrical probe, the person was able to play back certain forgotten past memories and experiences and feelings associated with that. Now, thus he concluded that the human brain acts like a tape recorder. Along with the memories, the feelings are also recorded. So it's not only the memory that is recorded, the memory associated feelings are both recorded. Now, the psychological fear of spiders, let's say, is linked to a biological feeling of nausea. That means the image of the spider or the memory that, oh, a spider once bit me, let's say, okay, creating fear, also gave me a biological feeling of nausea. So the body mind connection was established by Penfield. And this meant that nothing much is lost and if continues to impact our current life. Now, in past life regression therapy, as we know, we are talking about past memories only, right? And maybe these memories, if Penfield would continue probing deeper, maybe these memories can also be tapped. So, this is how the early roots of body mind connection, and that body and mind are connected in a way that is very mystical, uh, became very scientific, because experimentation is equally important. It's not all about just doing and knowing things. As we're living in an earthly plane, we must do a lot of experiments. Longitudinal studies need to be done of the impact of any kind of therapeutic modality and how it helps. So I think the early roots of Freud, um, I mean, his work is of course fascinating, though he restricted himself to thinking of psychosexual kind of development. But if you read his early work, it is mind-boggling, and he really is the father of psychology. Eric Berne, let's look at what Eric Berne, said, which I like so much. I do something to you and you do something to me. There is a transactional stimulus which gets a transactional response. And, he said that verbal communication, face-to-face communication, he said, is at the center of human social relationships. And, he always felt that people who are sending who are sending stimulus to us, he called them agents, and the person who responds, he called them a respondent. So transactional analysis really became a method of examining the transaction. I do something to you and you do something back to me. And then, of course, he went on to speak about the ego states, which we speak about later. Let's continue to understand the 4 ways in which we are born. TA speaks about the 4 births. The first is cellular birth, conception. The sperm and the ova uniting and a zygote is formed. That's conception, cellular. Right? I am a cell first. Then there's physical birth, where I'm born. Yeah, the mother breathes in a certain way, and the little baby is pushed out of the garbha, And then there is psychological birth, which is to do with love and stroking. Stroking, just touching. First time the mother holds the baby, strokes the baby. Yeah. The feeling is transmitted to the baby. How is my mama stroking me? Does she want me? Is she forced to have me? Just the touch of the mother, as we know, releases oxytocin and so many other different, chemicals. So that's called psychological birth. And many people who come to us for help, that's really where the problem lies. Sometimes the cellular birth is okay at conception. The physical birth also, there has been no complication. But the psychological birth is where the kind of estrangement, the disconnection has actually taken place between the physical birth and the psychological birth. When children are taken and put into incubators away from the mother, they've little bit of that inner child wounded self is going to start shaping up. And then there is social birth when you go to school. You go to play school, and then you go to nursery, and then you go to elementary school. And that's when you're born again to society, to people around you. Till that time, you have been mollycoddled, your family has been there, taking care of you all the time. And now suddenly you're in this social life, where you're supposed to please others. And there's so much of nonverbal communication that takes place, friends, that, as you know, children learn more non-verbally than verbally. So that's the reason sometimes we're not even able to understand what is causing the problem, because I have no words. I have feelings, because a child only has feelings, no words, right? The child who's 2, 3, 4, 5 years old feels but cannot interpret it, cannot translate it to words. So the social birth, the early birth, because nowadays, children go to play school. 1.5-year-olds, 15, 16-month-old babies, they go to play school for 1 hour or something like that. And they're exposed to a world that is so radically different than their home environment that some damage can be done there also. Sending children to play schools, creches. We have no idea that a small child of 15 months or 2 years wants the mother. And that is why how many people suffer from separation anxiety today, right? They're older, especially the teenagers. They're unable to survive, and they will, I have people in my school, my teenage kids in school, who are harming themselves, self-harming themselves, because they are not stroked enough. And the parents say that, I don't know what's the matter with her, because sometimes she's so good, this child, she'll come and hug me and put her head on my lap, and sometimes she just is rude and says nasty things to me and even cuts herself. I'm not able to understand. So now you can see the conflicting mind, conflicting subconscious. So separation anxiety is a very debilitating and very difficult thing that children are going through today. So I remember when I was small and I was sleeping with my mummy, right? My sister sleeping with my mummy, right? Till we were okay enough to sleep by ourselves. So that okayness, which we have to decipher in the child, is very important. Parents think, oh, it's okay, now the child is 2 years old, let him sleep on his own. Maybe the child is not ready to sleep on his own, crying, waking up in the middle of the night, having nightmares. All this could indicate to the parent that child is not ready to be separated. And that's what we have to understand, rather than force children to do what they want, what you think they should be doing. Okay. So cellular birth, you've understood that, physical birth, psychological birth, and social birth. I will entertain questions once the presentation is over. Okay. Now, in TA, along with the theory that we're talking about today, there are 4 ways in which we are going to analyze ourselves. There is structural analysis. Now, the structural analysis will help you to answer the question, who am I? We're all plagued by this question, who am I? Right? So when you start doing the ego state structuring, the structural analysis of the ego states, you will be able to understand who you are. That's a very interesting exercise that we will be doing. Then second is transactional analysis. Helps to answer the manner in which we transact with the ego states. Are we being stroked enough or deprived of them? So I have a PAC model, means parent, adult, and child in me. The person with whom I'm transacting also has a PAC. So what is actually happening in the transaction is the 6 ego states, I have 3 and the opposite person has 3, are actually transacting with each other. Now, we have to learn who is transacting. Is my P transacting with the opposite person C? Is the opposite person's A transacting with my P? Is my C transacting with my opposite person C? So don't get so confused by the PAC word alphabets. You will learn all this slowly. Just remember, P is parent, A is adult, and C is child. These 3 words you have to remember: parent, adult, and child. All of us have a PAC inside us. And what is transacting? These ego states are transacting with the opposite person's ego states. That's what you have to understand just now. Okay. Then we're going to have game analysis, gamey behavior, we call it in TA. Now, once you understand games, you will realize why things don't work out. Sometimes people say repetitive things are happening in my life. I'm being betrayed again and again, or I'm not able to find the right partner. When I meet somebody for marriage, the person just goes away. What's the matter? Is it the transaction that is the problem? Or am I in a gamey behavior? Am I playing a game? An unconscious mechanism is at work here. And maybe I am trapped by a game that I am playing. Okay. So you will understand a fantastic book of Eric Berne, Games People Play. And if you read that book, you will realize, my God, there are games and games that we play. Unconsciously, friends. It's not that we are playing games consciously. So understand that it's an unconscious mechanism with which we are trapped. And then we will understand script analysis. This helps to identify the early decisions that we have made, either to be a winner, a loser, or a non-winner. TA speaks about 3 different categories of people: winners, losers, and non-winners. And so you'll have three kinds of scripts. You'll have a banal script, like a non-winner script. You'll have a winner script and you'll have a loser script. So you will be able to understand what is your script. Are you in this gamey behavior of becoming a loser? Are you in this gamey behavior of becoming a winner? Or are you in this gamey behavior of having like a very thanda kind of life, like a non-winner kind of life, like a slip between the cup and the lip? So as we proceed in our study of TA, we will be able to understand the four kinds of analysis also. Okay. Now let's look at the assumptions of TA. What is TA's foundation on? So the first thing that TA speaks about is people are okay. As a TA student now, these assumptions should be your mantra. Okay, so now you have a new mantra that you're going to be chanting every day in the morning. People are okay. That's your first statement in your mantra. Everybody has a capacity to think. That's your second statement in your mantra. Everybody has a capacity to think. And third, people decide their own destiny. Decisions once taken in life can be changed if required. So these three assumptions of TA are the backbone of TA. People are okay. Everybody has the capacity to think. People decide their own destiny, and decisions once taken in life can be changed if required. Now just look at this beautiful statements, okay? People are okay. Now, just imagine saying this mantra every day, or maybe thrice a day, or maybe 10 times a day, that people are okay. What will happen? You get out of judgment, You get out of this idea that somebody is wrong and I'm right. You won't rock the boat, and nobody around you will feel as if you have a big head, that you have a big ego and you're trying to dominate and control everybody, because you have the assumption people are okay. So even if somebody has cheated you, you can just say, okay, people are okay. There must be some reason why this has happened to me. It is said that there are four ways in which the divine works. Sometimes you pray and it's answered. The divine answers it and says, yes, go ahead. Sometimes the divine says no, and nothing works for you. Sometimes the divine says, wait. You keep doing tapa, and the divine says, wait. And you say, my God, how long am I going to wait? And when is this going to happen? The third way in which the divine answers you is wait. And the fourth way is something better is on the way. There are four ways in which the divine works, okay? It says yes, it says no, it says wait, and it says something's better is on the way. So people are okay. Maybe things didn't go well today, but maybe out of the four, something is working here. Yes, no, wait, or something better is on the way. But people are okay. Everybody has a capacity to think. Now, this is a very important assumption of TA, friends, because even a small child has the capacity to think. And sometimes children say the most amazing statements to you that you may have never thought about. Today I was taking my ABT class with my three children in school, and I was asking my three kids that, I wanted them to think a little deeper. So I told them, what would you do if your friend does not talk to you or has a fight with you? What are your options? I was trying to tell them about flexible thinking. So my sixth standard girl, one of my sixth standard boys, he said, I will try and speak to him. I will call him home. I will send him a message. He was acting in a proactive manner. Okay. And the other sixth standard girl told me, I think I will just let it pass. I said, what do you mean by that? So she said, I'll just let it pass. I won't push it. I will allow that person to think. Very interesting. And of course, my fourth standard kid who was there in the group told me that, I don't know, I think I won't do anything, she said. So sometimes just to think that others can think and give them a long rope, let them think, maybe situation can actually turn itself around. Because when I have the assumption everybody has the capacity to think, I'm giving that person the same, I'm allowing that person to feel the same mental strength as I'm feeling. And third one, people decide their own destiny. And decisions once taken in life can be changed. And this gives you power, friends. Just to think that, okay, I made this decision, and yes, I decide my destiny, and I can change this decision, and I can do something else now. I just, today, I think I was going through Instagram reels, or I think a post or something, and the post came up that a man who has been working in the corporate field for the last 12 or 15 years, and the last 5, 6 months, he didn't have a job, and he's decided to drive an auto rickshaw. So he's made a decision, for some reason, right? But he changed that. He changed that a very neutral, stagnant, isolated self that he had become. Okay, maybe angry and feeling rejected by all the job resumes that he had sent. And he decided that, okay, I'll drive an auto rickshaw, doesn't matter. So these three assumptions are the backbone of TA. So I'm going to ask you this, okay, every time when we start off, we are going to say these three assumptions. So please say them every day. Now, what does TA not believe in? Let's look at that, okay? Now, TA does not believe in the fate theory, that everything is fated. Obviously, it doesn't, because it is said that you create your own destiny and decisions once made can be changed. So obviously, it does not believe in fate theory, because it says that if you believe in fate, then you lose power. Then you feel, oh my God, I'm just fated. Okay, and now I can't do much about it. So that's why we lose power. So TA opposes the fate theory. It also opposes the nature theory. Nature of a person can be changed. It says that, we can change. There is, like, okay, now I'm kind of genetically the way I am. Okay. This is my father was an angry person, so I'm an angry person. TA says no. No, that's not true. The nature of a person can be changed if he understands his PAC and he understands to shift the transactions that he's doing. He can definitely change in his life. Okay, so that's another thing that it opposes. TA opposes slip of the tongue. Okay, like, oh, I just said it by mistake. Sometimes we say, oh, there's a slip of the tongue. TA says, no, that's not true. Okay, you are a conscious human being. It's not that you lose your consciousness or something like that, right? There must be a deeper reason why you are saying what you're saying. Maybe you're actually entering a game, but you don't even know that you're entering a game. And then the make-feel theory, it opposes the make-feel theory. It says, take responsibility for the thoughts and feelings that you're creating. Whatever you are feeling, take responsibility for it, because that can really help you to forge yourself ahead. So this is what TA speaks about, okay? Now, what are the goals of TA? That's another interesting area that we should be working upon in the next 1.5 years. The 5 A's, please remember this. You have a diary, so please note it down. The 5 A's. Acceptance. Accept people, self and others. So acceptance is a very, very important goal of TA. When you start working with therapy, with the clients, you will understand that you're going to slowly lead them to accepting self and others, because now we've said people are okay, right? So that itself indicates acceptance. Assertiveness, another very important goal of TA. Open and direct communication. To be assertive is very, very important according to TA. Speak your mind. It doesn't mean to hurt somebody, because when you speak your mind, you're being authentic. That's the third goal of TA. You're expressing genuine feelings. Genuine feelings need not be hurtful feelings. Yes, you can express hurtful feelings without hurting the other person. You can say, what you just said has really hurt me. May I may I have the opportunity to express my hurt to you? Have you ever thought, if you say something like that to a friend, can you please spend 5 minutes with me? I want to express my hurt to you. I think that friend will run away because people are not used to this kind of genuine expression of feelings. But as a TA student now, please understand that if you feel something, you have the right to express it. How you express it, that's where the trick lies. How you openly communicate that feeling, that's really, so assertiveness is not being aggressive, okay? Oh, just listen to me. It's not like that, okay? Like your husband's hurt you, or your husband's not giving you enough time, your wife is, busy, kitty party, or maybe she's just a busy woman traveling, okay? Then what happens? The husband or wife or the parent or the child can express and say, darling, I really miss spending time with you. Can we spend 5 minutes? Do you think 5 minutes is a lot of time to spend? The opposite person will definitely say, no, it's not a lot of time. And then the 5 minutes can become 15 minutes. So awareness, friends, awareness, which is very, very important. Okay. One of the other goals of TA is achievement. Work, family, social, intimate, spiritual. These are the 5 areas of achievement that we speak about. We are human beings and human doings, and we have come here to do something. We've not come here to sleep the whole day, right? We've come here to do something of meaning, of purpose, and a little bit of achievement. Everybody wants. Everybody wants to achieve something. It need not be like money or status or position. It may be that also. But it definitely means like if you've cooked some nice meal, spent about an hour in the kitchen, generally ask, like, how is it? Because that's your achievement. If your guests have come home, you like maybe change the upholstery or something of your sofa, generally you will ask, how is the sofa looking? And they'll say, because that little achievements that we do give us a sense of worthiness. So TA speaks about asking for positive reinforcement. There's no harm in asking. In Indian culture, generally, we have this thing about, what is there to ask? Puchna kya hai? What are you asking how the food is? Must be good only. Why you're forcing them to tell you it's good? But why not? I can ask. I want appreciation and I want attention. I want to ask. And there's no harm in asking. Okay? Children ask, give it to them. Autonomy. The fifth goal of TA is autonomy. Okay? Self-confident and self-management. Friends, the key in life is how do you manage your emotions? How do you manage your behavior? How do you manage yourself in a transaction, whether it's with self or with others? Okay. So the 5 goals of TA, you will have to remember this, okay? Acceptance, assertiveness, authenticity, achievement, and autonomy. And this leads us to what is an autonomous person. This autonomous person will have the capacity of intimacy, game-free relationship without any gaminess. This autonomous person will have awareness, living in the here and now. And the autonomous person will have spontaneity, being alive at the moment. So if you're an autonomous person, how do you recognize yourself as being autonomous? If you have intimacy, which is transactional in nature, yes, but it's easy, smooth, flowing, open, comfortable, peaceful, caring, then yes, you're definitely doing well. You're aware, living in the here and now, right? Like somebody like me, right, who's doing past life regression therapy, right? I'm not in the past. I don't live in the past, right? Yeah, I may be aware of my past, and I may be aware how that past has influenced my present. But I don't need to live in the past, right? Live in my mind somewhere. No, I have to live in the here and now. And that is called integrated living. That's how you maintain work life balance. And then spontaneity, being alive in at all moments of your life. Yeah, when you're with children, you're like a child. When you are with grown up senior citizens, you're like them, right? I can't have a conversation with my mother about what I have with the children at school, right? It's because that is where Vivek Buddhi comes in. Okay, Vivek Shakti comes in. So an autonomous person, you want to be autonomous in life, remember, all of us. So the 5 goals of TA we have to focus on, and also recognize yourself how slowly and steadily you're moving towards becoming an autonomous person. Okay. Now let's look at a little bit of each of the goal. Acceptance of self and others, self-acceptance and acceptance of others. It means accepting myself as I am. I accept myself unconditionally. Whoever I am at this moment, I accept myself unconditionally. I accept others. Acceptance, TA says, is not agreement. I may not agree, but I do accept the person because people are okay. Right? Now that's so beautiful, isn't it? Acceptance does not mean agreement. You know how many couples have problems with each other because they want the opposite person to agree. Then they feel accepted. But TA says agreement and acceptance has nothing to do with each other. This is a very important understanding to have. Okay? That really, really is helpful. Now look at assertiveness. What exactly do we mean by assertiveness? The ability to state positively, assuredly, plainly, or strongly to be firm, clear, and become personally powerful is termed assertiveness. I remember Alia Bhatt talking on an Instagram reel and saying that, yeah, I do wear my clothes again and again. I think, it's really foolish to expect that every time you see me, I've worn new clothes. I mean, why not? You should repeat clothes. And she said it so beautifully, assertively, firmly, clearly. And it really felt powerful. So assertiveness is that, you are saying something which is so beautifully said by you that everybody wants to listen to you. This is extremely, extremely important. Okay. So assertiveness is valuable to managers because energy is released and the person feels stronger. Other people take more notice of an assertive manager, and relationship with others improves. Difficulties are resolved rather than festering underneath the surface. So speak your mind, as they say, walk your talk. No? These are all terminologies which indicate that assertiveness is a great thing to do. Now I'm going to show you a assertive questionnaire. Now, do any of the following things produce a feeling of tenseness or fearfulness in you? If yes, then count your total score. I don't want anybody to speak just now. Please look at the questionnaire that is being put up here. You have a diary, a pen, or a pencil. Look at every statement and see, do any of the following things produce a feeling of tenseness or fearfulness in you? So loud voice, if somebody has a loud voice, will you get startled or will you feel tensed? If it is yes, then write why. So the first will be either a why, yes, or n, no. Speaking loudly in public, if you have to speak loudly in public, will you feel tensed or fearful? Oh my God, I can't speak loudly. Some people say that. Or being teased. Do you have, suppose somebody's teasing you, okay? Like mild bullying. Will you become tensed and fearful? Facing a failure, meeting a stranger, looking foolish, people in authority, tough-looking people, being watched while at work. This is very interesting. Being watched while at work, like you're cooking in the kitchen, and your mother-in-law comes and she's watching you. Are you going to feel tensed or nervous? Or you're cooking and people outside say, when is the food going to be ready? There's a loud voice and there's this feeling that, oh my God, I have to hurry up or I'll fail. Receiving a compliment, does that make you like tense or fearful? Being criticized, angry and serious people, being ignored, making mistakes, being disliked, and a bull in a conversation. A bull in a conversation is like you are conversing, there are a group of people and you are conversing with somebody and a third person enters in the conversation and like a bull, that person just enters the conversation and hijacks the conversation. And that can leave you also tense and fearful. So please look at the questionnaire just now. And quickly, I'm giving you about three minutes. Write your Y and N, yes and no, on the 16 statements that have been, not statements, but things that have been put up here, phrases. So we'll discuss it once I finish showing the slides to you. If you want to ask me anything, you can. Oh, sorry, one second, please. I'm sorry. Where's it gone? Yeah. I'm just checking the chat if there's anything that I need to see.
Ma'am, can't see the screen.
Yeah, here. The screen is here. Take your time, just look at the statements.
Ma'am, what's the meaning of the 16th one? A bull in conversation?
A bull in conversation, like you are having a conversation with somebody and a third person enters the conversation, trying to hijack the conversation. So that third person becomes a bull in the conversation. And that leaves you tense because you had to say something which was left maybe unsaid or you felt unheard because the third person came in and took the conversation away. The third person becomes the bull in the conversation.
Madam, what is the 9th one? Cannot see that.
Sorry?
What is the 9th one? Cannot see. It is just
being watched while at work.
Thank you.
Being watched while at work. Sorry. Just look at it and then.
So we are counting the yeses, right?
Yes, we're counting the yeses. If yes, then so count your total yeses. Because the total number of yeses will indicate the measurement of your tenseness. And the more the yeses, the less assertive you will be. You can even take a shot of this and put it on. I mean, we're on different WhatsApp groups, so that cannot work. But yeah.
No, I can put.
No, but Baba, everybody's come from different places. I mean, they are on 3 different WhatsApp groups. You'll have to put all 3. Put it on all the 3 then. Done, Baba? Everybody? It's quite simple.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Should we move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Now let us look at this. Can you do the following? Can you turn off it now? Again, you can write yes and no, okay? As I speak, every statement, you can mention yes and no opposite the statement. turn off a talkative friend. If there's somebody who's talking, jabbering away, can you turn that friend off and say, hey man, please, enough. I can't take it any longer. Or just like change the topic, or just say, I'll just speak to you a little later. It can also be turn off the talkative friend on the phone. Somebody is talking on the phone and you're really busy. Can you just say, can I call you later? Can you do that? So see if it's yes or no. Then the second one, resist your others' unwise instruction. So either your teacher, your parent, or your spouse, or somebody has given you an instruction which is unwise. Can you say, can we just let this go? Okay. Can we talk of something else? Can we change the topic? Can you do that? So think now, okay? Have you done that, or can you do that, or have you never tried to do that? Okay? Ask for clarification in a meeting or in a discussion. Somebody's talking something and you've not understood it. Will you ask for clarification, or will you just let it pass? Because it won't look good, no? People will think I'm so stupid that I'm asking such a dumb question. Have you noticed there are many people who will, like, I get this all the time. They'll say, ma'am, can I please ask a question? It's not a very intelligent question, they tell me. And I'll say, yeah, it is intelligent. You're asking me, right? So, people put themselves down even when they have to ask for clarification. But are you able to ask for clarification in a meeting or in a discussion? Check it out. Fourth, tell your close friend, I like you or I love you. Are you able to express your feelings to your close people, or you avoid doing that? Yes or no? Continue a relationship with your colleagues, teachers, or bosses, even though you don't like their behavior. Are you able to do that? Continue a relationship with colleagues, teachers, or bosses, even though you don't like their behavior. There are how many people who give up their jobs because they don't like the boss, they don't like the working environment, they feel stressed when they go to work, they feel that people are just judging them, or they are not friendly, and they leave their job. They're not able to continue the relationship. So are you able to do that? Can you do this? Yes or no? See, don't write maybe, okay? Because maybe has no value. Maybe is a typical non-winner word. There's nothing like maybe, okay? Say boldly, it is my mistake when you do the wrong thing. Are you able to say that? Sorry, it's my mistake. Are you able to say sorry? Okay? Forgive others and self, because if people are okay and I'm okay, then there's nothing like forgiveness, right? Because everybody is okay. The okayness, when I start seeing okayness in people, then I can be helped and they can be helped. So can you do the following? Forgive others and self. And last, able to communicate with people of all levels, whether it's a manual laborer, your watchman, your peon, your maid, your colleague, your friend, a stranger on the bus, your auto rickshaw driver, your boss's wife. I mean, can you communicate with people of all levels? Can you do all this? Now look at the yeses that you have got and the no's. And the no's here will matter, not the whys, not the yeses, but the no's here will matter. Because that will also indicate to you that, which are the areas where assertiveness is not coming up. So, yeah, easy. Huh? Did clear? You all have done it? Chalo, let's move on.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now let's look at achievement. Like we spoke about intimate, family, work, social, and spiritual. These are 5 areas of life where achievement is something that we have to work upon, and we will do it as we proceed. Just write out achievement as your 3rd goal. And these are the 5 areas where achievement is very important. Intimacy. Yeah. if you have a good intimate life, you somehow feel peaceful, you know. Your body feels peaceful more than anything else. Family. You have a family. It can be father, mother, and child. It can be just your parents and you. Maybe you're not married, it's just the parents and you. Maybe one parent and you. That's also a family. Yeah, single parent homes, they're also family. You're living with your grandparents more than your parents. That's also a family. You're living in a hostel, then all your hostelites become your family, right? You have a family, a sense of belonging. That's what human beings want, to belong. Work, yeah, achievement at work, that also is very important. Little achievements, step by step, give you a sense of worthiness. And then socially, you feel achievable, you feel good socially, no? Your friends, you go out once in a while, watch a movie, you're comfortable in a crowd, going to a mall, going to buy things. Social behavior is very important in life. And then spiritually, looking yourself beyond just belonging to a religion, belonging to a community. And just the whole world is is the whole world is mine. Yeah. So that's so we'll as we proceed, I think you'll understand more about all this. And then authenticity is the fourth goal. We said authenticity is the capacity of a person to express genuine feeling without censoring and subsequent behavior and action. So you don't need to censor anything. Whatever you behave, the way you act, what you feel, express yourself in a genuine manner. And when you express your genuinity, actually you sleep very well. Somebody asked me, how many hours do you sleep? I don't need to sleep that much because I don't need to forget anything, and nor do I need to forgive anything, and nor do I need to have a mind that is scattered all over the place. So I think it's okay. You don't need to sleep for more than whatever period the mind and body need to relax. Okay. And then autonomy. The most important thing in life, autonomy means freedom from external authority, where I am okay to be me. An autonomous person is self-confident, self-managing, and self-charged. Autonomous people have the following capacities, like I said: intimacy, deep level relationships, spontaneity, being alive, and awareness. These are the three important things that we speak about in TA. Okay, very, very important things. They're all today, we're talking about the basis, the foundation on which TA is based. And what does an autonomous person do? Spontaneously engages in appropriate transactions. Being autonomous means taking responsibility for one's own actions and feelings. An autonomous person has personal power, which is the ability to take charge of self, others, and environment. Becoming an autonomous person means becoming master of yourself. Become yourself, because that is what God wants us to become. So this is today exactly an hour that I have taken to make you understand the foundation on which TA is based, on the 5 goals of TA, and what is autonomy, which consists of intimacy, spontaneity, and awareness, and how these 5 goals can slowly become part of your life, okay, and take you towards becoming an autonomous person. We've also understood about the assumptions of TA. I'm okay, you're okay, so people are okay. Second assumption of TA, very important assumption. Everybody has the capacity to think, and people decide their own destiny, and decisions once taken can be changed. Make this your mantra, friends. And I don't think you can have any problems after that. So now I'm going to take in some questions if you all have any.
Ma'am, I have a question. Ma'am, you said that people's nature changes. In that one, you gave an example that my father is angry, so I not necessarily that I should be angry. but this change in nature is within the person itself, not compared to his parent or grandparent.
No,
But if a
no.
person is like, has a tendency to cheat, and if he, will he become a non-cheater? Because what I have experienced is that, the person, even if they give given second chance also, they tend to do the same thing again.
Like I said, Rashmi, at this moment, focus on yourself, not on others. What others are doing, what others are, oh, there are thieves in the world and they should be jailed. We are not here to talk about others. We're here to talk about what changes you can make so that you look at everybody through the same lens.
Okay.
Because if you start looking at the world through different lenses, different colored lenses, then how are you going to work on the first assumption people are okay? People are okay because they are guided by their own situations. See, we are not living somebody else's life, though he may be your father or mother also. Like you, like we were, like I was born when my mother was 22 years old. 22 years of her life. What she was conditioned, I was not privy to that. She was already made by 22, right?
Yeah.
Her behavior, the way she thought was already etched by the age of 22 when I came to her.
Yeah. So,
And still, as you know, Rashmi, still people have a lot of complaints against their parents because they say that why is my mother not more loving or caring? But they are not able to understand that mother was a child to a mother who was possibly not loving or caring. People can change only if they make a attempt to change, Rashmi. Yeah, decisions once made can be changed. So this, if all of us now in the study group understand this, then we will start making a change in ourselves. No?
yeah. So
And
this,
as you start learning the transactions, now, Baba, you'll understand how to transact even with somebody who is like a bull in the conversation.
yeah.
Okay. Kavita.
Ma'am, can you please explain what TA opposes? Those 3 points.
Okay.
Does the believe in faith theory?
Yeah, so
Future of a person can be.
it opposes fate. It opposes the fact that we are fated human beings and nothing can be changed. It says, no, things
Okay.
can be changed. It opposes the fact that, oh, this is my nature. I'm just an angry person. Can you deal with me? There are many people who say that. I'm an angry person, deal with me. So TA says, well, if you're an angry person, you can change. Your nature can change. That's what it says. Basically, TA speaks about change. It does not tell you that this is the way you are and that's the way you're going to be forever. So all the 4 pointers that you've written about the opposing part, TA opposes these things. Okay? Like slip of a tongue. TA says that there's nothing like a slip of the tongue. It's your unconscious coming up. Yeah. So you become more aware now that, oh my God, let me think before I speak. So the awareness part, one of the goals of TA starts coming up, no? That way. That way to understand the opposing part of it, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Hetal, you want to ask me something? Yeah, Hetal and then Barnali and Manisha.
Ma'am, I want to ask you regarding these two questionnaires that we did, yes and no, for assertive questionnaire as well as can you do the following. What it means, if I go to see from my personal experience, I will always react according to the situation given. It may not, sometimes there are times when you are very assertive that you put down your foot on a certain aspect, but certain times there are situations where you're not in a position, or there is something like the condition may be such ke you feel ke let it pass, or
It's fine. So, Hetal, that is also being assertive, no?
Okay.
That is also being assertive. Yeah.
Yeah.
What it's trying to tell you is loud sound. Suppose if somebody is shouting at you, Are you going to stand there and become tensed? That is, there are two ways to react. One is you become tensed, right? And you start having sweating and palpitations, okay? And there are some people who say, okay, this guy is having a bad day. Yeah, let me just let him continue shouting as much as he can. I'm not going to take that into my mind space. So I become aware. Okay?
Yeah.
Ethel, got it what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything that I've mentioned there, loud voice, all the stuff that was mentioned there, you have to see whether you get tensed when this happens to you or not. If you don't get tensed and anxious and carry that conversation home with you, then you are in the here and now.
Yeah.
Right? Because that is one of our goals, right? To be in the here and now. So if you are a person who's autonomous, then that moment, that person is yelling at you, you are in the here and now, you are not going to react. There's no need to react, but you're not also feeling anxious and tensed.
Yeah.
So that makes you a person who is assertive. Got it?
Thank you, ma'am.
Then there's the other questionnaire that is there about, can you do the following?
Yeah.
So can you just read some of the statements from can you do the following?
Like the one second, ma'am.
Yeah, just see if you have it.
Ma'am, extending to Hetal's question, like in exercise 2, the first question was turn off a talkative friend. Now,
right.
if I turn off the talkative friend saying, there is another call coming, so you put hang the phone down. So that would not mean that I'm assertive, because I'm not telling the real reason. I'm just trying to, play with words or.
But the ability of doing that is itself being assertive.
Okay.
Some people will not do that. They will allow the food to burn on the gas, but they won't switch off the talkative friend.
Right.
Okay, got it. So it's the ability to speak up. That is great. Can you do it is the question. Yeah.
Yeah, so ma'am, regarding this case, the second option, resist your others, teacher or a boss, unwise instruction. So many a times when you're in a situation where you don't have the say, you let it go. But at times, like as a teacher, my classroom, I will do what I feel is right for my class, seeking the temperament, as well as what I feel morally, which is correct for me, I will go by that. So that is, means it is like sometimes, I mean, sometimes I feel, maybe the coordinator or the person, who is a head is saying in their context. It's not something which they want to harm or something, but it's their view. But when we are in the classroom, there is a lot of things that affect you. So at that time, you take, you stand on, I mean, you put your foot forward and do what you feel is right. So that's something which I do.
Correct. That's good. That's good. The question is, what is your intention behind doing it?
It's not to, demean or, to go against the head. But it is what I feel is correct in my space, in my thinking, whatever I feel.
Perfect, Hetal. So the intention counts, right? If it is, because being assertive is not being aggressive and hurting the opposite person. It's just being genuine enough to put your things forward. That's all. If you're able to do that, maybe not in front of the children, maybe later, because you also have to see a situation where you can put your thoughts forward. So all that indicates a person who's trying to be autonomous.
And then sometimes if I feel I've done something which, which is off the track or something, I'll go and own up also. Okay, I have, this was the situation and this is what I did. So, it's like to keep my mentors or my heads in loop. Okay, what they know what has happened.
Perfect. Perfect, Hetal. That's very good. Okay, we have Karpagam. You want to say something? Ask something.
Yes, ma'am. I had a doubt on one of the slide where it said winner, loser, and non-loser, ma'am. What is the difference between loser and non-loser?
You will learn all that. No, this is the first class that we are having. You will learn the difference between a loser, a winner, and a non-winner.
Non-winner, yes.
Not loser, not non-loser. It's a non-winner. So as we proceed, you will understand the scripts that we have. Okay, what kind of script have you actually created in your life? Have you created a loser script? Have you created a winner script? Or have you created a non-winner script? So as we proceed, I'll be sending you all, I don't know how we'll be doing it, but maybe questionnaires to answer, because you need to know what are the injunctions that you're carrying, what kind of script you are creating. Okay, so all this we will be learning. It's over a period of time, Karpagam. Huh?
I just have one more question, ma'am, about self-esteem.
Yeah.
Would it fall under autonomous or assertiveness?
Yes. If you have good self-esteem, good self-image, then you're definitely acting in an autonomous manner.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste, beta. Manisha? Manisha,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my confusion was in the spiritual zone. So, like accepting everyone and still holding on to your own religious identity, how is it placed? I mean, a little more clarification onto it.
So let us first, thank you, Manisha. Let us first understand the difference between religion and spirituality.
Yes.
Is a religious person spiritual, a spiritual person religious? First, to understand, is there a distinction between what is religion and what is spiritual?
Spirituality, ma'am, I mean, is like doing what is right in our given circumstances as per the good of all. I mean, this is what I have understood. Religion, actually, if we go by religion, simply helps you to understand and to reach that spiritual self. This is what I have understood. But we get caught up in the religion. This is what I have understood.
There is some difference between the word religion and the word spiritual.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is the difference? The difference is, what is actually religion? Religion follows one book, one God.
Okay.
Religion has a book, a holy book. And every religion has a God, which is distinct. Correct? Islam will have one book, Quran, and one prophet. Hinduism will have one book, Gita, and Krishna, or whatever. Okay? Then Christianity will have one book, Bible, and Jesus. This is actually religion because it is distinct.
Correct.
I am a Hindu, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Sikh, and I follow this teachings of this book. So I read this book and not that book. That makes you religious.
Correct.
I will not go to the masjid and chant kind of Hanuman Chalisa, because that is not allowed. Correct. But a spiritual is related to the spirit, and the spirit is the same in everybody.
Correct.
So spiritual is different and religious different. That is why it is not mentioned. The word spiritual is mentioned and not the word religion.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So when you are a spiritual person, then people are okay is easy to understand. When you're a religious person, people are okay, you can't understand that. Correct?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but
actually, yes.
Thank you.
A little conflict comes at times, like I accept everyone, but still I want to hold on to my religious identity.
Mine.
I mean, I accept other.
This is mine.
Right.
And this, what is mine?
Correct.
And what is not mine is not good. There is distinction again. As a past life regression therapist, we know that we have been born in different religions, right? So people like us definitely should not have this thing. Okay, others may have it. Yeah, and others are okay in spite of the fact that they may have that. But we can accept them. Okay, fine. Maybe they will come to an understanding a little later. It's okay. Matter, you know? So yeah. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bernali, you want to ask a question?
Ma'am, there in the slide, this question that to make everybody is okay. So that is a problem for me. If everybody is okay around me, then I'm not okay, and I live like that. But definitely I want to be okay. That's why when others are okay and I'm trying to make it happen, it affects me how I can
So,
make me and others, everybody okay, that I
yeah.
also can express
So, Barnali, that's why I said make the 3 assumptions your mantra. Tell yourself, I'm okay, you're okay, right? People are okay, and let them be okay. And that's why I said the 4 things that the divine makes us do. First, the divine either gives it to you, says, yes, yes, this is yours. Second, the divine says, no, you can't get it. Third, the divine says, wait. And fourth, the divine says, you'll get something better. So, Barnali, you may get something better. So just wait.
Okay.
Instead
And
of assuming that everybody, this person is like that and that person is like that, how much of your mind is living in conflict? Imagine.
yeah.
So don't live in conflict. If your mind is in conflict, how is it ever going to do what is appropriate for you? So people are okay. Just say, God, okay, people are okay because you only made all of them. So maybe there is something waiting for me better, and I'm willing to wait. It's okay.
And
Things will happen.
about my kids, shall I keep their okay before my okay? I was doing that and was
Before
thinking,
and but there's no before and after. People are okay.
okay.
Not that I'm okay and I'll keep them before me. Nothing like that. Everybody's okay. Everybody's living their own life. Beta, Parnali, when you see a tree, do you say that fruit is better than this fruit on the tree? Do you even know which fruit is going to be sweet?
Oh no, we don't know.
So all
There
the fruits on the tree must be okay only.
okay.
That
So I make what my situation, that to make faithful to that, and what is coming the sensation also answer to that, and do
yes.
whatever my
Just
sense
relax.
is. Okay.
Okay.
If something making me like some sense sometimes comes, I will respond to that, and
You just stay in the here and now, Barnali. Stay
okay.
here and now. Don't go all the time in the past.
Okay, in future, like I'm feeling like
Don't
tomorrow
even go
something,
in the future. Just stay in the here and now.
and anything is coming, I just throw it to sun god or something.
So if you are getting upset, stay with that upsetness, and it will go. If you're getting upset, stay with that upsetness. Sit down and say, okay, upsetness, I can feel you. I can feel you, upsetness. And how long would you like to stay with me? Maybe it's going to stay with you for about maybe a few seconds. But if you resist it, it will stay longer.
Okay, I got it.
Good, thank you. Aradhna?
Good evening, ma'am.
Evening.
Namaste.
Okay.
Ma'am, it was a very different zone of knowledge for me today. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. And what I understand is like knowledge of TA is like to change myself towards being a perfect personality. I may
Not
be wrong, but
perfect.
what I understand. I mean,
the word perfect TA does not like too much.
Okay.
It's
to be a
just
better personality, maybe.
the word that we have used, to be an autonomous person. Use words that are TA oriented, autonomous.
Yes, ma'am. So, my question is that as Barnali ma'am also asked this, I also had this kind of thinking that time that if I'm thinking people are okay, but people are not thinking the
Forget
same.
them. What are you thinking?
Forget them.
Aradhna,
Okay.
focus on yourself. This
Yes, ma'am.
all the time moving away from yourself does not help.
So, I mean, my question is that can TA help me to change others also? Maybe in the long term.
Why do you want to change somebody?
I mean, it will be like a test of my patience.
TA
I will
helps
feel
me to
otherwise.
understand others better. Okay.
Aradhana,
Yeah.
Aradhana,
Yes, sir.
when you go to a party, you dress up in the best possible way, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you enter the party, are you interested in how people are dressed up? Or are you interested in how you are dressed up?
Many times both.
Are you happy when you look in the mirror and say, wow, I'm looking really good? And that confidence, with that confidence, when you go to a party, do you even care what others are wearing? And you're like, filled with the way you are dressed. And when somebody appreciates you, yeah, you feel really good about it, right? So turn the mirror towards yourself. Just अपने ऊपर focus करो बस.
Ma'am, can I say something here?
Yeah.
Ma'am, there is a concept in Buddhism that your environment is your mirror. So once we start changing, automatically our environment, which acts as our reflection, begins to change. But the focus should not be that we should be working to change others, but only, like as you said, focusing only to change yourself with the intention of getting better. So automatically then, I mean, this is what I have practiced.
So Aradhana, if you look at your reflection in a clear pool of water, you will see a clear reflection. If you look at your reflection in a dirty pool of water, you will see a not so clear reflection. But does it reflect on you? How you are? No, you're the same person. Yeah, the clear pool of water is reflecting the way you look. The dirty pool of water is reflecting because the pool is dirty. But that does not change you. You remain the same, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You are not going to change. So the more you focus on yourself and the less you focus on others, you will feel empowered.
Yes.
Once you feel empowered, it doesn't matter what people are. You will automatically think of everybody as being okay only.
Okay, yes.
अपने ऊपर focus करना सीखो. Yes, my dear Shalina, after a long time, and I'm glad to see you. Yeah, you want to ask me something?
Yes, hello, ma'am. Thank you. The session is wonderful, and I'm learning many things. And I'm glad I joined today because there were 2, 3 sessions which were clashing, and I joined this session. So I'm glad I joined this session. Ma'am, I want to ask you something. Sometimes, if you're an empath, you don't want to be assertive because you are feeling what the other person might feel beforehand.
Yeah, so Shalina, when you say that, then you're not acting from a genuine space. As an empath, you have to be genuine, right?
So,
You're feeling what the opposite person is feeling, and if you feel that is helpful to the opposite person, which generally it is not helpful, because somewhere you feel drained and down. That's what most empaths tell me. So it means you're not acting in an autonomous, genuine manner. There has to be a distance as a therapist, as a doctor, between a parent and a child also there has to be a distance. Otherwise, how are you going to parent the child? Yeah, this becoming one. Don't take it kind of literary that you have to become one with the opposite person in thought, emotion, and behavior.
No, it's not becoming one, but when you have that tendency to see through, okay, and when you can feel what the other person is feeling.
So use that, Shalina, use that to power the kind of transaction. Use that, whatever feeling you are having, because you're tending to empath, so you're feeling what the opposite person is feeling, use that to power the entire communication and transaction rather than getting bogged down by it, is what I'm saying. Yeah. See, and everything that you feel that the opposite person is feeling need not be spoken. So that is where the Vivek Buddhi comes in as to what should I say and what should I not say at this moment. Maybe that opposite person is not ready also to hear half the things you're going to be telling that person. So thoda sa ability to discern should be there even if you're an empath. It helps you to then become more assertive. Because the opposite person needs your guidance, right? So if you're getting affected, then how are you going to fulfill your role? थोड़ा सा सोचना पड़ेगा, है ना? Rahul? Okay, two more. Rahul and then...
Ma'am, is my voice reaching you?
Yes, it's reaching me.
Okay, actually it's Dr. Shalina ji के थोड़ा सा वो पास में ही है वो question भी मेरा दो हैं छोटे छोटे. So the first one is that the assumption that I am okay and everything is I mean the next person and everything is okay. So why would a slip of tongue then be considered inappropriate? And also wouldn't that be, as you're saying, that you would need to think before you're speaking? जैसे आपने mention किया था slip of tongue में, तो ये वो isn't it going to take us away from authenticity, because that somewhere that is the authentic person which is speaking through the subconscious.
Yeah. So Rahul, slip of the tongue means there is something that I want to say, but I'm not saying that, and so there's a slip of the tongue. That's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say something, but I'm saying something else. If the slip of the tongue happens, you actually realize that, oh my God, I wanted to say this, but I said something else. And then it has not come out in the way I wanted to say it.
Okay, ma'am. So it's basically even slip of tongue. Is it that you revisit what you are trying to say and be more authentic about it? Is that?
Yes.
Also, ma'am, another thing is that when we're saying that I am okay, then what is the motivation for me to change?
Yeah. So the assumption, this is basically an assumption of TA, that people are okay. If I assume this, that people are okay, then whatever changes the opposite person is bringing forward, I will be able to accept it.
But ma'am, what is the motivation for me to change if I am okay?
Right. No. You are assuming do you believe you're okay?
No, but ma'am, if we are starting with the assumption that I am okay and you are okay.
Right. So how does this work? So let us say I am in love with person A, and I feel I'm okay, he's okay, and we both are okay. Okay. And now one day this person tells me that I'm sorry, but I will not be able to get married to you. I'm going to marry somebody else. Suddenly that person becomes not okay, right? Now, if I continue to assume that he is okay, then I will be able to value and accept the decision that he has made. But if I assume he is not okay, then the decision that he has made, which he is willing to make and then change his life, I will not be comfortable with that also. So the third thing, that people decide their own destiny, and decisions once made can be changed. So if the opposite person changes the decision, I should be continuing to be okay with that too.
Okay. So ma'am, basically it's connected with the next person. It's not really connected with you.
Yes,
is that
correct? Yeah.
Okay.
People are okay. So in that assumption, I, you and they, everybody come in, no?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Zoom, Karam. हाँ.
थैंक यू माँ, बहुत अच्छा आपने आज क्लास लिया. मैम मेरी जो यस आए हैं, जो आपने 16 क्वेश्चंस थे, उसमें सब एक ही चीज को पॉइंट कर रहे हैं, बीइंग क्रिटिसाइज्ड, बीइंग इग्नोर्ड, बीइंग डिसलाइक्ड, अ बुल इन कन्वर्सेशन. ये सब मेरे चारों यस हैं. तो व्हाट डज दिस इंडिकेट? मतलब वेयर शुड आई इंप्रूव?
हाँ, तुम्हें थोड़ा आगे बढ़ के बोलने की जरूरत है. Maybe you are somebody who is not able to speak your mind. Like तुम्हें लग रहा है कि it's okay, अगर वो मुझे criticize कर रहा है तो छोड़ो. I don't want any fights. Arguments मुझे नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है, बट अगर वो तुम्हें असर कर रहा है,
हम्म
because of which you become tensed, maybe you're having some health issues, maybe you can't have sleep. If it is affecting your physical body, अगर इस तरह की चीजें होती है तो then definitely you need to look at it.
ओके
You need to speak up. और तुम शुरू करोगी ना बोलना तो आसान हो जाएगा.
ओके
If you start speaking up your mind in a very nice manner, you will start feeling peaceful actually. कहा, I said it today. It will help you. Assertiveness helps people. Subi?
तो मीन्स कि जैसे बीइंग क्रिटिसाइज आई डोंट लाइक, बीइंग इग्नोर्ड आल्सो आई डोंट लाइक, तो
Why you
मुझे
don't like?
वही मेरे को पूछना है कि व्हाट इज द मेन रीजन बिहाइंड इट. उसमें मुझे दुख होता है.
क्यों दुख होता है अगर कोई आपको क्रिटिसाइज करता है? Maybe the opposite person is saying something that you need to hear. शायद वो कोई ऐसी बात कह रहा है आपसे जो शायद आप अवॉइड कर रही है सुनना, या आप बदलना नहीं चाहती, या आपको लगता है कि नहीं ऐसी तो मैं हूं ही नहीं. मे बी आप ऐसी है, क्या पता. फॉर दैट पर्सन
ओके
दैट पर्सन मे बी यू आर इन अ सर्टेन वे. तुम ये सोचोगी ना कि भाई यही आदमी क्यों मुझे क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है, और लोग तो मेरे साथ
और
अच्छे हैं, ये
हाँ
बंदा क्यों क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है. सो ही इज नॉट ओके एंड आई एम ओके. करेक्ट, ही इज नॉट ओके बिकॉज वो आप क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हो, मैं तो ठीक हूं. तो सडनली जो आप ये कहते हैं तो यू से ही इज नॉट ओके, आई एम ओके. सो यू आर क्रिएटिंग ए, यू आर गोइंग आउट ऑफ बैलेंस. इंस्टेड यू कैन से ओके, आप मुझे क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हैं, मैं सोचूंगी इसके बारे में, आपने जो मुझे बोला है मैं इसके बारे में सोचूंगी एंड आई विल कम बैक टू यू.
ओके
दैट इज एन असर्टिव पर्सन हु विल कम बैक एंड से कि ओके कल आपने ये कहा था मुझे, मैंने सोचा इसके बारे में बहुत ही मैं जानना चाहती हूँ ये आपने क्यों कहा. आई वॉन्ट टू स्टडी माई सेल्फ. तो आप जरा बता सकते हैं कि आपने ये जो स्टेटमेंट बोला ये क्यों बोला.
और मैम जैसे अगर मैंने ये चीजें करी तो इफ अ पर्सन सेज कि तुम सीरियसली मत लो, मैंने ऐसे ही बोल दिया.
हाँ करेक्ट. तो देन यू से देखो अगर आप ऐसे ही बोल रहे तो आई रिक्वेस्ट कि आप ऐसी गलती ना करें दोबारा. उसको बोलो कि तुमने गलती की ना, तो ये गलती अब दोबारा ना करो. दैट इज ऑल्सो एन असर्टिव पर्सन सेइंग. अब जब दूसरी बार इसके मुंह से निकलना शुरू होगा वो कैच करेगा, भैया बोलो ना करम को कुछ, क्योंकि अब आएगी और मुझे वापस आईना दिखाएगी. हाँ तो बेटा ऐसे ऐसे आपको करना है. डोंट टेक एनीथिंग लाइंग डाउन. पीपल आर ओके, दे आर एबल टू थिंक. नो, बोला ना सेकंड अजम्पशन इज पीपल कैन थिंक. तो उसको भी सोचने पे मजबूर करो कि भैया तू सोच सकता है ना, तो सोच इसके बारे में, फिर मैं भी सोचती हूँ तुम भी सोचो. ऐसे ऐसे करना है. सुबी,
थैंक यू.
Yeah, Happy New Year, ma'am.
हैप्पी न्यू ईयर बेटा.
So I've heard the answers of other people and got some clarity while I was waiting to get answered. But still, this TA says that you have to be authentic and genuine.
Yes.
So when I very strongly know that the person in front of me is not okay, he's a cheat, he's a pickpocket. So how to assume it? Even this assumption will not work for me when I come across such people.
Correct. Subi, TA speaks about what other actually psychotherapeutic modalities say. The person is not the behavior. The person is not the behavior. Don't we behave badly at times? Does that determine who we are? Yes or no?
No.
No, correct. The person and the behavior are two separate things, Subi. The behavior can change. Right? We have stories of thieves becoming saints.
Yes.
So behavior can change. So the person is not the behavior. Like we say, Bacha, you're acting in a stubborn manner. You're not stubborn. But the problem is we have a habit of labeling people. Children are labeled as being angry, being stubborn, being stupid, being silly, being hyperactive, as if the child and the behavior is one. And that causes maximum problems, Subi. So this person who's a thief, who's a cheat, his behavior is faulty. And that is why this faulty person is jailed, so that he can reform. And he will be able to reflect on who he really is. So the next time you hear of people who are doing wrong things, they are not wrong. Their behavior is wrong. And when you do that, you're giving a chance for that person to become okay. No?
Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Yes,
ma'am,
Shweta.
I want to add here something
Please.
that when we are saying you are okay, so we are saying that the soul-wise we are all okay.
Correct.
Soul-wise we are okay, but the superficial behaviors, which are dictated by so many things,
Factors.
so many factors. It could be your physical factors, your disease, your external factors, anything, and that fluctuates. So that keeps on, the behaviors fluctuate. Even in my gut reset, I'll teach them that Vata person will be different, Pitta person will be different,
Correct.
Kapha person will be. And when the Prakriti changes, the same person is going to behave differently.
Wonderful, Shalina. Absolutely right. Okay. See, we have to understand that at the root, we are all the same. We all want happiness. We all want peace. We all want love. We all want the same things. No human being does not want all these things, okay? But somehow, because of multiple factors in their life, they are behaving in a certain way. If those factors change, maybe that person's prakriti will also change. That is why TA opposes the nature theory. Understood? Okay, we have two more, Deepti and Aditi, then we'll call it, yeah, Deepti and Aditi.
Okay, very quick one. You know, you said being assertive. So when we are being assertive and we speak our mind, and for me, the fear is that the other person is going to feel bad and the relationship might spoil. Or
so, two things. How are you speaking? The tone of your voice and the words that you use. These are very important. Are you speaking to hurt the opposite person? Are you speaking to put the opposite person in its place? Are you speaking to make that person feel small? Are you speaking to make yourself feel more in control, powerful? Why are you speaking? That intention has to be very clear first. Once the intention is clear, the right words will come out of your mouth.
Okay, thank you.
Aditi, last question from you, my dear.
Yes, ma'am. So, continuing from the previous, you just said that, मैंने तो यूं ही बोला था and all. So maybe he's also started playing games and he's not genuine and he's avoiding the conflicts. Then where do we stand? Because they are themselves also fluctuating.
Very, very good. Excellent question. You brought in the word game. Okay. So only a person who is aware will recognize the game. It's very difficult to recognize a game. Okay. For that, as we proceed, you will realize that you also could be in a gamey behavior. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you start becoming more authentic, more autonomous, more genuine, and in the here and now, you'll be able to pick up the opposite person's game. And then you will transact with the opposite person differently. Okay?
But even if we are able to, but we are not putting about, like, we are not good with words. That is what my problem
is. At this moment, you don't
I'm able to
know,
identify.
But you don't even know what is the game that is going on. So as we proceed, next class, the third class, fourth class, game is still far away. But as you start understanding the transactional mechanism of TA, you will also understand how you are getting caught in this trap, where you are acting, you want to be authentic, unable to be authentic.
Right.
Okay. So hold on, and maybe in the next class we'll talk more. about the PAC model. We'll start with the PAC in the next class, okay? I'll be seeing you all
Can
again.
we have the separate WhatsApp group for this? Because
No.
lots of
There cannot be a separate WhatsApp group because it's not that only y'all will be joining next time. Maybe others, poor souls, have not been able to get in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there'll be some other people.
So, ma'am, in case some queries come, so can we discuss in the same group?
Yeah, in the Thinking Thursday, because we have three groups, Thinking Thursday, not one. We have three.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why we can't have one, because people are joining from everywhere, from our Bodhisattva group, from our Thinking Thursday group. So it's very difficult to make a separate WhatsApp group.
Ma'am, today it was a wonderful learning. Actually, a lot of my own conflicts got clear, which I was caught into. Thank you so much.
So why don't we all just say the assumptions like our mantra? Okay, people are okay.
People are
People are
okay.
okay.
Everybody has capacity.
Everyone has the capacity to think.
Everyone has the capacity to think.
A third is?
People decide
their own destiny.
And
decisions once taken in life can be changed if it's
Remember these three. Okay? Thank you.